All right, this is the first episode of the Lockstars podcast, best channel for Yugioh comedy and all the above. I am your host, Justin,
I'm Jordan.
and let's get started. All right, and we are back. How you doing? How you doing, man? I think I'm very excited to start something like this. You know, I haven't gotten back into the game for a while, so I'm interested to hear all the new stuff that's coming out, all these new strategies.
Yeah, you're not gonna like it, but
I'm not gonna like it.
yeah,
I heard it's pretty broken now.
it's a lot.
It's like I heard, what was that deck that like last year got like banned? It was like
Castira?
no, that tier 0 deck.
Oh,
Apparently.
tier limits.
Tier limits. Yeah, I heard that deck was crazy. I heard Cashier was crazy too, though.
I didn't play. I played like towards the end of tier limits format, and I mean, I didn't get the sense of how broken it was. It was pretty good, but I played towards the end.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
It seemed like a pretty cool deck. I do love like cool fusion decks, but I don't know. It seemed very oppressive. Even after it got banned, it was still like a little bit of a viable deck afterwards. You know, they still had to ban some of its cards after the fact.
Oh, okay. Okay. What's some of the big decks now?
Right now, it's Snake Eye. It's basically like any Snake Eye variant.
Any Snake Eyes variant.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
wow.
mainly like pure
That's
Snake
crazy.
Eye is the best deck, but there's also like Fire King Snake Eye. There's Kashtira Snake Eye. Just anything where Snake Eye is like the main factor.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But
okay.
mainly like pure Snake Eye is considered like the best deck. Recently Tempai Dragon just came out. There's the big OTK deck. Melodious, supposed to be a pretty viable deck. And obviously there's all the tier 2 decks. They're pretty viable. Centurion, maybe Labyrinth. I don't know. Branded maybe right now. We still got the format still has to develop.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, let's not dilly-dally. Let's talk about the first thing we want to talk about on our first episode. What's today's topic?
Is Yugioh even worth playing?
Worth playing. I mean, you don't think so?
Well, first things first. Like, what's worth it to you is different for everybody. Like, it's just like it's a hobby. And you know, if something like stamp collecting or building model trains is something that's like fulfilling to you, then that's complete. Then yeah, it all depends what people want to get out of their hobby.
Okay, then what makes Yu-Gi-Oh worth it? What do you want to tackle first? What makes it worth it? Or not worth it?
Well, we're gonna cover something like the obvious cons of playing Yu-Gi-Oh. One of the big factors that comes up like pretty much once every, let's say, few years, it's how expensive it could be. It's blatantly obvious that, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh is an expensive game. We've had decks like Teledad, Necros, and even out Snake Eyes. You know, these decks have reached, you know, over $1,000 just to like build, at least from scratch. Even like today, a few like less relevant decks can be pretty pricey. Like Cashier right now, will probably $200 is considered budget, but it, you know, for some people that's still like pretty pricey. Like Centurion, like a lot of their cards are like $30 each. On top of that, you need maybe things like Prosperity, like staples, like, you know, like Prosperity, SP Little Knight. That you know, just cards that like everybody might need. You know, those can be pretty pricey. And it's pretty much it's pretty much Konami's fault, at least like in the TCG. They artificially, like, how do I say this? They intentionally like make like powerful cards more rare. Now, it's understandable. It's like a company, so first and foremost, they have to like make money.
Right. Well, first, what deck are you playing right now?
Right now, I'm building Tenpai. Tenpai is it's a pretty cheap deck to make right now. Not a lot of the cards are like Tenpai. It's pretty much I would probably say $200. But even with the old card Trident Dragion, that's pretty much what brings it up to $200 because it's like $100 card.
Damn.
But without that, it'll probably cost you like, probably about a little bit over 100 probably.
Oh, okay.
You can manage like
the entire deck.
Yeah, you can pretty much.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's
you can pretty much buy. I mean, it depends on what you want to play.
like inside the deck.
Yeah,
like staples.
Yeah, exactly. Like the World Zealantis package.
Okay.
That requires the Salomon Great card. I forgot the exact name. That costs about $50. Promethean Princess costs about 20. Prosperities. I forgot the exact price on Prosperities, but they shouldn't be that much anymore. But without trying to drag, you can pretty much build a deck for 100 to 150, maybe.
Okay.
But today, still these prices price people out of the game. You can get priced out of the game. Like I've heard other YouTubers say they, like in the past, they pretty much just stopped playing because of how expensive the game could be. Really? Yeah.
Okay.
But this isn't like unique to Yu-Gi-Oh though. Like this isn't unique to Yu-Gi-Oh though. Like Magic the Gathering can have over like for standard format they can have over literally over $1,000 decks. Like for regular decks.
$1,000.
Yeah, over $1,000 for like standard format.
Okay.
That's why in Magic the Gathering, Commander format is pretty much the most popular since it's pretty easy to get into. But for Yu-Gi-Oh, like people are priced out of the game. Like this is a kids card game. Like kids.
Is it really? Like,
well, when you think about it, like it is. It's marketed for kids, and the and obviously they encourage like, hey kids, like you want this card, go tell your parents to go, buy this for you.
Right. It's the parents that got the money.
Right.
And
Exactly.
they'll buy it for their kids.
But the majority of like Yu-Gi-Oh players and casuals they can't like afford it, pretty much. And price is pretty important when you're thinking about a hobby, especially when you want to go deep into that hobby.
I think people will buy anything as long as they can win.
Yeah, sure. You can say that.
How many people even really buy some of these cards? I've seen like one of our friends. He paid like literally a stack to buy that one Light Sworn card way back in the day.
Yeah. It's all about what you. I mean, it's all about what you want. It's like your choice. Yeah. Again, like
he literally paid rent for a card.
Again, it's like your choice whether it's like worth paying that much. But even if you really want a card, like let's say if I'm a big fan of like Light Sworn, right, and I really wanted that Minerva, that was a prize card, so that's pretty different. But even now, like for the Dia Bellstar engine, you could like the lure. There's a whole lure behind Dia Bellstar and all that. But things like Wanted is like $100, or even like it's 50 to 100 right now. I think.
So what are some of these cons you got? Some of the cons you got on deck, bro?
Another thing that pretty much relates to the financial aspect is like Yu-Gi-Oh! It doesn't have you can't win money in Yu-Gi-Oh! We're pretty much playing for glory and like more cards. That's the big
Oh,
thing.
so they can brag to their friends.
Yeah, like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm a YCS champion. Like, oh, like,
And all the other nerds in the room.
yeah, all the other nerds in the room. Like we can't go on and say we won $20,000. You know, like this ain't like Fortnite or like even Pokemon.
I mean, you gotta have mad respect, though. You gotta.
Yeah, it's like it's definitely respectable. Yeah, it takes a lot of work to like win Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments and consistently win at that too.
Right, exactly.
But you just can't win money. There was the thing, like, you remember ARG?
I remember, yeah. That's
ARG
from way back in the
yeah,
day.
Yeah, I don't even think they're a thing anymore. But at least they're not as popular. You see, those were pretty much the only big tournaments where you could actually like win money. But ever since they stopped, then we don't really do it. Like, and it was a whole thing. They said the creator didn't want kids gambling, but I've heard people
Rest in peace.
rest in peace. I heard people just say like that was just like a rumor. So I guess we don't really know the real reason.
Oh yeah, really? Is it a rumor?
I guess so. Like, obviously we haven't heard. I haven't seen any like statement, but that's just I don't know.
That's interesting. Yeah, I put all this time into the game, and I get zero like money. Like I mean, people will obviously play it without the money, obviously, but I mean, I'd like something at least, right?
Right. No, but I do think people do. People do kind of inflate how expensive Yu-Gi-Oh can be. Granted, like getting into it can be expensive, especially if you want to get into the competitive scene. But after the initial, how do I say this? After like the initial burn, it's pretty much it's pretty easy to pick up other cards because there's a lot of crossover. Like if I'm playing like things like, let's say, like Prosperities or Triple Tactics, basically just like staple cards that a lot of the decks play.
Right.
Then depending on the deck, it's pretty easy to just pick up another one. It really only gets expensive once like there's no crossover.
What do you mean by crowd? What is that? What do you mean?
Like crossover, like multiple decks, pretty much all decks play like Ash Blossom and Impermanence.
Sure.
That's crossover. But staples these days are pretty
I
cheap.
thought you were talking about the card, bro.
No.
Is that the card that like stops hand traps? That's what it does.
Call by the Grave?
No. It's the one with the blonde dude with the sword. That's crossover.
Cross out.
Oh, that's cross out. Oh, my bad.
Right. LU. But people do need to realize that even if it is a little like pricey, like it's a hobby. Like
right.
Like you're gonna be paying a lot for like any hobby. That even if it isn't Yu-Gi-Oh, like there's no cheap hobby out there unless you collect dirt or something.
Like I get like people do complain about the price of the game, which is it is a lot, but I mean it is you're right, it is a hobby and they're collectibles, obviously.
Right, exactly. It's a trading card game. It's
Any
collect cards.
Any collectible is going to be expensive.
You're right. Right, exactly. But what's really, but people get like your complaints are valid. All complaints are valid, and we can give as many solutions as we can. But some people are they just want to be unreasonable.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this one video. This dude, he was just very upset. Like if you invest into a certain deck, and let's just say, like, a new reprint gets announced, or a ban list comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Then all the money you spend can be. I mean, it can be disappointing. I did buy. What was that? It was this field spell. Oh my god! It was like this very powerful field spell. It's really escaping me right now, but I pretty much bought it like when I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh towards the end of Tillerman's format, and pretty much like 2 weeks later it got banned, and it was a pretty pricey card, but it is what it is. But some people just
How much you pay
expect
for that? How much you pay for that?
I don't remember. You gotta ask our you gotta ask one of our friends. I paid him for it. I forgot how much I paid for it, but
know exactly.
it was probably like $20-$30 for each card. So I probably paid probably like 90 or so. I mean,
I'm thinking. Okay, that's not that bad.
I mean, yeah, it's not that bad, but I still felt bad. Paying if I'm paying that much for a card, I want to be able to use it. I didn't even get a chance to use it.
Right. You can buy some Raising Canes with that.
Right, but some people want to buy a deck, play the deck, and then when they're finished, they want to make their money back. Which is that's not realistic, and I think that pretty much that takes away the spirit out of the game. Why would you do that? We shouldn't have finance bros in Yu-Gi-Oh. Really, and that there are actual people out there that suggest buying Magic cards or Pokemon cards to invest in, which takes away the spirit out of the game. If you're a vendor, then okay, sure, that's
right.
But
it's kind of weird how a bunch of individuals. I mean, I get it. In any kind of business sense, you want to profit. You always, just like in the game, you always want to plus, right? But most of the time, you're probably not gonna plus, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's just that's just the way of the game.
Right.
If you want to invest in something, you'll make your money. Go invest in some stocks, bro. Or REITs, something.
Right. Or just be a vendor. Be a vendor.
Don't be I bought some Yu-Gi-Oh cards and now they're worth less than what I bought them for.
Right. That's the nature of the game.
Yeah, it's the nature of any game.
I mean, you kind of gotta expect that.
Come on, bro. You're not Jake Paul. Stop it. Come on, get on my face with that.
What if Jake Paul did play Yu-Gi-Oh?
He'd be terrible.
No, he'd probably be pretty good, bro.
No, he wouldn't.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, maybe he'll win one tournament. Maybe.
I mean, yeah.
Or maybe a top.
He's the one that boxes, right? Yeah,
No.
Logan's the one in the WWE.
Oh, I get confused on which one is.
Oh, yeah.
I don't watch them, so.
I mean, because when they start doing something, it seems like they really put their mind to it.
Right. I mean, if he, well, yeah, sure. If he really puts his mind to it, he could probably, maybe in I'd say. I mean, I don't know how fast he can learn, but
right.
They can't be fast.
Isn't that
Pac,
crazy? Weren't they on? Didn't they get started on Vine or something?
Yeah, they got started on Vine,
and now he's one's like a boxer and the other's the WWE champion.
Yeah, right.
Something like
so
that.
it can't be done. Pac, he started Yu-Gi-Oh. I want to say in 2019. I want to say.
Oh, and he's pretty good.
He's pretty good. He has the tots and wins to back it.
Puts the rest of us to shame.
Right. Exactly. Right. But people need to also stop trying to compare it to Pokemon. Pokemon is one of the biggest IPs in the world. I'm pretty sure they can afford to lose some money on their TCG. We can't just print. I mean, I don't. As nice as it would be to print a secret rare as a common or a super. It's not realistic. Not for Yu-Gi-Oh. Not for Konami.
The show doesn't really. I mean, yeah,
the show is definitely not as popular as it used to be.
Right. The show doesn't get anyone into Yu-Gi-Oh now.
Right. Exactly.
Does it even come on cable or TV anymore?
No, it does. It's just.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean, of course, yeah, of course. But
who owns it? In America.
But it's all about the rush duels and the speed duels now. At least for the show. So it can't even properly get you into the game. I mean, it never really properly got you into the game, but at least they would have similar rules.
But we kind of all started because of those first three shows.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah,
maybe
we
even
did.
the fourth one.
Right. We did. I admit that, but it's just not as popular anymore. Not nearly.
Which one's your favorite show?
Probably. I want to say Arc 5. I need to finish Reigns first. Mm-hmm. Reigns is really good, but I want to say Arc 5 because I just I'm a sucker for different dimensions and different universes.
Interesting. I think I don't think you ever beat the first. I mean, I guess that's with everything. Everything you can't beat the original.
Yeah, you can't really beat the original. But it's but you have to admit, like, I mean, that's pretty much just nostalgia talking.
Right. I didn't think Zexo was that bad. I know a lot of people.
Yeah, people hate
like
Zexo. I don't know why. Like, Zexo was good.
They just be hating, bro.
Like, I get Yuya. Like, I mean, I guess he was a pretty bad duelist, but Zexo was good. Like,
yeah, but most people are. So, I mean, it was kind of.
I mean, well, yeah,
it was kind of relatable.
Yeah, it should be relatable then. That should make it better.
Like, you're trash, bro. You're just
I
like.
think because like, I gotta watch it again. But I guess he didn't really. No, yeah, he should have gotten better.
Yeah, didn't he get like? I mean, yeah, he got pretty good by the end of the series.
Right. Yeah. But the best one, again, I have to finish Reigns. But at least the best one is definitely 5Ds. He's a cheater, by the way, just like Yugi. So I don't want anyone.
Wait, the best one is 5Ds?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty good. That could be up for debate, though.
Sure. But again, but my favorite still is Arc 5.
In Reigns, like, that dude is, like, serious all the time.
Oh, is he? He's a little bit silly.
When? I guess I haven't watched that far.
I mean, but he's still silly in his own way.
Oh.
Like, he's still serious. Like, when he's, like, goofing around or when he's silly, he's still, like, serious.
He's like one of those heartbroken dudes at the gym.
Yeah. who makes very depressing jokes.
Right.
But but back to the finance part of Yu-Gi-Oh. It's all about what you want to invest what you can do. You know, if
Come
you
up
don't
off the mic a little bit, just a little. Come up off.
It's all about what you can afford.
Mm-hmm.
And or at least what you want to pay.
A bit closer. You gotta find that nice middle ground.
Or at least what you want to pay.
Right, sure.
But again, like just find, at least if you want to get into the competitive scene, just try to buy your staples, and everything else should be like easy peasy after that.
Oh, right. Yeah, your staples. I mean, yeah, once you have like, I mean, you just buy like pretty much just every staple possible.
Yeah. Like, but not every deck needs it. Like, not every deck. Like, it's just nice to have. Like, you should probably buy them when they're on the when they're not trending.
Yeah. Like, do you think it's always good to buy those generic floodgates?
Right. Yeah.
Interrupters, whatever. You know.
All of them.
Yeah, that way you just always have them and you can always interchange them.
Right. I bought all the Ghost Girls. I bought, I have all the floodgates. You know, just whatever I might need for a deck.
Right. It's always good advice to have. We need to do an episode on that, just like best practices, like generic practices. That'd be nice.
Right. But another reason why, Yu-Gi-Oh might, suck to play is like
tell me more. Yes,
like the meta.
What about it? What about the meta? I always hear people complain about the meta, but
no one is happy. You can't make everybody happy. It's literally impossible to make everybody happy about the meta.
Right.
Like, it's a constantly changing, constantly evolving game.
I mean, that's a good thing, though, right?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's just a natural progression.
What kind of metas do you like?
I guess I enjoy the triangle metas, where
I agree.
That might be the nostalgia since I guess we got competitive into a triangle meta with Shadal's Burning Abyss and
Stellar Knights.
Huh? Was it? Oh, was that it? Oh, yeah,
Stellar Knights. Yes.
Oh, yeah,
it was that kind of triangle. That was a pretty good format.
Yeah, that was a pretty good format. I think that's really when I thought about like deck building, and I mean it was still pretty bad, but I think I did a good job, at least from my first attempt.
I mean, it seems like now from what I've seen, there's all kinds of decks now, right?
Right.
It seems like every deck is broken now.
Yeah, exactly. Like literally every deck can OTK. Every deck can just spew a bunch of monsters on the field.
Yeah, it could just keeps going.
Yeah, every deck can keep going. Every deck can play past hand traps. To a certain extent, like or more decks or other decks can play past more hand traps than others.
What do you think about that kind of format? You think you like that kind of format?
I mean it's different. Some people would enjoy like more diverse formats.
I think people just like.
I don't necessarily like dislike a diverse format, but
I think people just say that just to say that. I don't think they generally like diverse formats,
I mean, some people.
or
Well,
they can really care less. They just say it just to say it.
I mean, okay, but like, think about it, right? Let's say you're watching a YCS stream. Like, do you want to see like the same deck like just play each other?
I don't mind that. Yeah, I don't care.
I mean,
I think that's a. I mean, I get like okay. So
I think it depends. It depends on the deck.
I've heard back during zoo format. I think that's the the most recent format would be tier limits where everybody played it.
Right.
Right. Before that was probably zoo, right?
Like for a tier 0 format.
For sure, one where everyone was pretty much playing the same deck.
Well, technically before. I mean, I think before, at least to my knowledge, was like Spiral, and then before
Everyone
that,
was playing. Okay.
Spiral was Spiral was a tier 0 deck. You don't remember that?
Yes, I remember. Okay, that's the point here. But anyway, I had one of my buddies tell me like that kind of format is really a test of the best to see who can, or at least who can play that deck the best.
Right, I've heard that before. Yeah, it's very good for skill expression, and I think that's what people did like about Tillermans, because especially when during mirror matches, it was good to see like a good expression of skill. Like with Tillermans, and like I hear a lot about like Dragon Rulers was good for skill expression.
Right. So I guess, I guess whoever's going to be the best is going to be the best in any given format. That's what makes you have to be dynamic as a player. But I think it could probably be argued on what kind of format really shows the best. Like that kind of format where every deck's the same. It's probably just show who's the best with that deck, not necessarily who's the best. I can see the argument for a diverse format where you can go against any given deck and either hold your own or just dominate.
Well, I think diverse formats are just better for more casual players.
Interesting.
But the competitive players enjoy like a more how do I say this? A more closed format with less decks to worry about.
You know what's irritating about these like very diverse formats? It's just that the side deck is very tight. Not only
Exactly.
Everything is very tight.
Right.
Like the main side and extra, because everything you can go against anything, so you need everything.
Right, exactly. Like you need cards that can again have a good there comes this word again, crossover. Like let's say like anti-spell fragrance is good against Pedalum decks, and it goes against branded, and it can possibly be good against what is it called, the runic deck. But versus something like Snake Eye, it's pretty useless.
That's fair.
Even now, like if I were to go to a tournament, I would probably prepare for Snake Eye, Tenpai Dragon, Voiceless Voice, Melodious. I'm not worried about like, let's say, Centurion. I'm not, I won't be, it's not, it's definitely a viable deck, but it's not really a deck on my radar.
It's always irritating when you don't prepare for that deck and you lose.
Right. But that's, that's part of the game.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sometimes you're just like, you make a bad call.
All right, bro. You got more negativity from me on why I shouldn't play this game.
Yeah. Like,
seems like a trash game.
Tier 0 decks can be very depressing, man.
I don't know. I
remember like Spiral format. I mean, me personally, I love Spirals, but
I love Zoo. Yeah,
it's very, very oppressive. But no, not everybody wants to play tier 0 formats. Some people want, it's like it's boring playing against the same deck for let's say 3 months at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can take a break. You can take a break too. I think that's always a good solution.
Right. Yeah. But there's also this big thing. The forbidden word card or forbidden words, power creep. People hate. Some people at least hate like power creep. Mm-hmm. Good example. We had like Mystical Space Typhoon.
Oh yeah, MST.
Yeah, MST, like one of the most iconic cards in Yu-Gi-Oh. After MST, we had things like Cosmic Cyclone, Twin Twisters. Those cards are definition of power creep, where cards need to get but that's
That's
like,
crazy. Wasn't that card like broken at one point?
yeah, but MST was at like 1 at one point. It was banned, I think.
That's a pretty broken card. To
I
be
know,
honest.
like,
It's
and
pretty free.
right now it's at 3. But power creep is the natural. It's the natural progression of any game,
Right. Like those people who want to keep the game the exact same,
right?
like are pretty okay. I know you could play that format if you want to, but keeping the game the exact same is absolutely ridiculous. Otherwise, the game wouldn't be successful.
Exactly.
Like imagine if we just all if we were still in I summon one monster set 1. We wouldn't be playing Yu-Gi-Oh!
No, like I heard. I don't know where I heard this from. I don't know if I saw it in a comment or something, but people said like things like goat format, or even before synchros was like peak Yu-Gi-Oh, and I don't know if I could agree with that. Like it's definitely. Don't get me wrong. I still have my fun playing goat format, but we can't. Like Yu-Gi-Oh would have not survived if we just kept on, summoning like summon skull, and like say
I sacrificed one.
saving our MST or saving our bottomless. Like
Right.
Yu-Gi-Oh have not survived at all. Like we have to, more powerful cards have to come out for us to stay interested in the game.
Right.
Like even, we talked about this the other day. Like even when we still have fusion monsters, things like Gladiator Beast and things like Gladiator Beast and the Neospatians came out where we didn't have to use a fusion spell to make fusion monsters. We didn't. Things like Cyber Dragon became a big thing where, they could also potentially use Chimera Tech without a fusion spell. Where they came out with more powerful fusion spells. That's just the natural progression of the game. And then we had synchros where all you needed was like a tuner, and those are easy to access and easier to spam on the board. And then we had XCs where all you need is a monster with the same level, so even less restrictions. And then we had pendulum monsters where you could just spew, you could just vomit your whole hand out, which, me personally, I love. I love pendulums. My favorite summoning mechanic.
No, I hate pendulums, dog. That's one thing I will. That's one thing I will complain about. Are pendulums? Pendulums aren't. It's a cool deck. It's a cool deck. Or at least multiple. The different versions of pendulum decks are pretty cool. But I don't know. It wasn't like my favorite mechanic, to be honest with you.
I love pendulum.
I think my favorite mechanic is XCs, if I were to choose one. It's kind of, I don't know. It's competitively, I think, XCs. XCs would be my.
I love pendulums.
Even Ritual. Ritual is a pretty fun mechanic.
I hated it when they moved the pendulum zones down. I hated it.
That was Master Rule 4?
That's part of Master Rule 4. But then, obviously after that we got, Link monsters, which Link monsters you can pretty much use almost any monsters.
Yeah, that's pretty broken. That's pretty broken.
But power creep is just it's part of the game.
Right.
Like you can't people have different no one can agree when the game was ruined. Mm-hmm. Some people say when synchros, some people say when XC, some people say when pendulums came out.
If you're really if you're really dedicated, I think people just complain, but which is valid. I can understand that. But if you like the game, just play the game, bro.
Exactly.
Just don't complain about it all the time.
Exactly. Don't be upset that you can't summon 7-color fish. For a good normal summon. No.
Is that based off the book? You remember that book with the mirror?
Yeah,
with the sparkly
maybe.
fish.
Maybe.
Oh no, 7-color. Oh no, never mind. I'm stupid.
But it can be overwhelming. Even at this point, if you're a new player, it can be overwhelming to face down a board of like 7 negates and hand traps.
That's pretty broken.
Right. So,
well, you don't even face down the board; you just lose.
Oh yeah, he's pretty much a scoop after that. Like,
Yeah, bro.
Cards nowadays. I heard this. I saw this video where a guy said, the 3 effect rule, where a bunch of at least like a bunch of cards have 3 different effects. Like, let's say,
Baron has. No, he has
Baron.
like
Yeah,
2.
Baron has. Yeah, Baron. I think has a. Does Baron have 3? Has the pop effect, has the negate, and it has the revival effect. So, yeah, but a lot of cards do have 3 different effects. We can, I can admit that's pretty annoying. Like, why can you do all these things when all you like you're Stratos and you're Stratos and you're basically like almost like a lone fire, like all in one card.
Bro. Okay, all right. Well, you told me all these negative things now. You tired of you being a negative Nancy. You got any?
I mean, like sometimes Yugioh sucks. It's, it can be annoying to play. I wonder what I play this game.
I'm tired of all. I'm getting real tired of all this complaining now. To be honest with you, bro. Well, you got some positives?
I guess Yugioh has some positives. I guess.
All right, give me your positives, bro.
Yugioh has a lot of camaraderie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
A wise man once said, "It's the friends you make along the way."
Who said that?
I did just now.
Oh, okay, fair point. I do agree with that though. I think that's one of the big things I want to do with the podcast too, because a lot of people don't have that camaraderie. A lot. I mean, let's be honest. Like, a lot of people nowadays are loners nowadays, especially after COVID. And they might be antisocials, and they might have even little to no friends. I think Yu-Gi-Oh is a great way to make friends. Is a great bonding opportunity. So, I think, yeah, it's definitely a positive that people should think. And it's not about the prices. It's not about the power creep. It's not about.
It's not even about winning.
Yeah, it's not even about winning all the time. It's about like hanging out with your friends, going on trips with your friends.
Exactly. Literally our closest friends, like we've met because of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Right. Yeah.
We literally would not have any friends if it wasn't for Yu-Gi-Oh.
I would say all that. I would say
that. I would definitely say that.
No friends.
No friends.
We have no friends.
I mean, we wouldn't be as
You
close.
would probably have no friends. Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. I'm interesting.
I don't know. Interesting?
I'm very interesting.
I don't know who's been lying to you. I don't think anybody would agree with that.
No. I have friends. I have friends now. I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh
Where they
in
at?
a long time. I can call them up, but I don't think they want to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh right now.
Okay, then that's the point. Like they don't want to talk about something interesting.
But anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted. But
hold on. I know there's this big joke in the Yu-Gi-Oh community where a Yu-Gi-Oh friend group can look very diverse. You could have like a very fit muscle head. Like you can have a cholo. You could have some scrawny nerdy dude. Some big fat. I mean, but honestly, it's right.
That was our friend group.
Right? Yeah, it's like it's
pretty much the correct. Muscle part. No one really had muscles when we all met.
Okay, sure, but the point is,
I had a friend group like that in Chico. Like there was this real buff dude that played Yu-Gi-Oh and Dragon Ball, and there was the fat white dudes. I mean, they weren't really fat; they were just not in shape. But
right.
A Chinese dude, me, short black dude, right?
But that's the beauty of it. Like Yu-Gi-Oh brings people all from different backgrounds and different mindsets together to play a game that we all love. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter who it does from around the world.
Yeah, no one really cares about that stuff because The only I think
What brings us together?
well, hold on. I think because the only thing that matters, at least in the context of Yu-Gi-Oh, is respect for playing the game.
Right.
Especially if we all play competitively, if we all steel sharpen steel, right? And obviously that just opens up other things like hanging out, other interests and things we want to do with each other.
I don't think just playing competitively. Obviously, like we might play competitively, but a lot of our friends do only play casually. I know you haven't hung out with them in a while, but I remember before I left for Texas, we were playing Cube, and they were playing. We were also playing a lot of Edison, and just sitting there, just playing. It's just
So
fun.
Cube.
I think.
If you could explain, Cube is where you take a bunch of cards and put them into.
Well, yeah,
deck.
and you pretty much make your own rules.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's a fun way to play.
right, exactly. And I think those are the best feelings. Of course, winning is cool, but it's pretty much it's almost more fun when we all go X3 drop
And then go get some lunch.
and go get lunch. That's just a great feeling. Versus spending all day, sometimes 2 days at an event, and then you win, which is a great feeling.
Right. Yeah,
But
I did.
but let's be honest. You pretty much would feel better if y'all all maybe not feel better, but it's still a great feeling just when you all lose and you go get something to eat together and hang out and explain how y'all lost, or explain if I drew this one card, I would have won.
If I drew this one card, if I wasn't so bad at the game, I would have won.
Exactly. Right.
But yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's I got into some tournaments here in I went to some regionals, and it's not that far of a drive, some of the regionals here in Texas. But I did, when I did lose, I'm like, oh well, I guess I'll just go home. Right? I didn't really have anyone, because I just when I just got back into the game, I didn't really build any rapport with a whole lot of Yu-Gi-Oh people here in Texas. So yeah, it does feel bad.
Exactly. Yeah, if you,
it makes your losses feel that much worse.
Exactly. You could be the best player at the game. You could be the best player. If you're Jesse Cotton or Joshua Schmidt, and all your other friends would stop playing, just stop playing the game. How long would it take you to stop playing?
That's true.
It doesn't matter if you're the worst player or best player. If you don't have friends that play the game with you, it's just not. That's definitely wouldn't make Yu-Gi-Oh worth it if you're playing alone. You can. There's things. Now there are things like dueling book. There's Master Duel. There's the Discord. And I just learned. You won't believe this. There's actually this virtual world for Yu-Gi-Oh, a virtual community.
What do you mean?
A virtual community. You can make your own
like Sims.
Sure, yeah, sure. Like Sims, you create your own avatar. I forgot where it's at. I think it's. I forgot exactly where it is, or exactly what the platform's called, but. It's technically like a game, yeah, almost like Sims. But a dude made almost, I want to say, something like a room where you can enter, and in this virtual reality, you can build your own environment and your own avatar. But this dude, he made a whole room or environment where you could play Yu-Gi-Oh. And some people use that for a community.
Interesting.
Especially, that's good when you don't have, your own locals to go to.
Yeah, I guess some locals can be pretty far off. I think, I don't think there's a whole lot in Arkansas. I heard one. I forgot the player, but so I was in Dallas, and someone told me one one of the stronger players in Yu-Gi-Oh. He comes down to Texas to play from time to time because I don't know. I've never been to Little Rock, but I'm sure. So I don't know. That's like the biggest city there, so and it's already like a rural small state, so I don't know if there's a whole lot of people. So
Yeah, some people. But no matter what community you choose, like everyone, or at least most people, are friendly. It's rare where you find a toxic Yu-Gi-Oh player. They can, they can be the loudest, but it's still very rare. Most people are nice. Even if you're new, if you're new to the game, people are willing to help you.
right. I've met one that I guess I consider kind of toxic, but I think that just comes with some egos or something.
Right.
But
Some people would take the game like way too. It's not even like way too serious. You're just like out of pocket.
right. Like you can be like super competitive. That's fine. I can understand like super competitiveness. Like if you're a really competitive person, especially in this realm. But I guess it just depends. I guess it's. I guess in general, that I don't think there's a such thing as like toxic competitiveness, unless you're just a sore loser. But yeah, I definitely see your point in that.
But
I mean, what else,
thing,
man?
Another
Go
thing
ahead.
for what does make Yu-Gi-Oh pretty good to play is like the lore and archetypes that we can play. There's not
Yeah, that could be pretty exciting. Yeah, sure.
like Yu-Gi-Oh is like the only, at least to my knowledge, the only game where you could play something like Madolce, right? Literal like cakes and pastries for monsters. Or you can play or demons, something like Infernoid or Dante, or Burning Abyss, like which is based on Dante's Inferno.
Souffle versus Dante.
Right. Or one of my favorite pendulum decks, Performer Pals, bunch of silly little circus animals, or what is it? Cosmo. The literal a crossover between Star Wars and Wizard of Oz.
So, I forgot what was I gonna ask, but yeah, actually, go ahead. I forgot what I was gonna
Yeah.
ask that quick.
So, but the point is, there's a deck for everybody. There's not really other games don't really.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. What do other games not have this kind of stuff?
To my knowledge, no. Like, if you think it, like, Pokemon definitely doesn't. Like, they're just all Pokemon. Like, you can
Right,
pick, like,
right.
oh, like, I want a water deck.
And the story.
I mean, granted, I don't really know much about Pokemon, but, to my knowledge, they're just all Pokemon.
Right, like the card. There's not a whole lot of games where a story is told within the cards.
I mean, there are, but not like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Right, no, but like the stories probably aren't told within the cards.
Yeah,
right?
it's not like a whole like lore behind it. It's,
Right,
it's
right.
just it might there might be a few like this is an owner and his dog. This is an owner and his dog, but older.
Oh,
It's
sure,
things
sure.
like that.
No, but it's not like real stories. Like,
Not
the
like
cards.
Dante's Inferno or the Diabell Star cards.
the dual,
Or even
the dual terminal.
yeah, the Dual Terminal, Digrapher. Like Warrior Digrapher has been everywhere, dude.
Yeah, that dude's a traveler, dude.
And
I wish I could afford to travel like Digrapher, dude.
right,
Uh,
right.
no, but he has some cards where he's like, I mean, he has some pretty bad luck too. So
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But there's also not even cards. We have things that are based on things. Like I said, Burning Abyss is based on Dante's Inferno. Cosmo is based on crossover between Star Wars and Wizard of Oz. The Noble Knights, based on Arthur and the sword.
right. Yeah, that can make the game pretty fun.
Yeah, so even if you don't want to get into competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, just casually, you can just find a deck that you just like. If you like pirates, like there's fur hires.
Right.
Like you like
A lot of girls play decks like they I mean, they find a deck like really like cute, like
Right. Yeah.
what's that one normal summon deck? The Flaunderies? Is that what they're
Oh
called?
yeah, yeah. Flowanderies.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you
Florunderies.
like birds, yeah, do you like fluff? Do you like fluffy things and demons? We got Fluffle for that, or Fluffle Frightfurs, as some people.
That's the kind of girl I want.
Someone who's
You got to be fluffy but
she,
crazy.
she could turn into something crazy.
Right, like Taylor Swift.
Good.
That's funny.
But you also have typical things like superheroes, mechs,
Yeah, that's like the most popular deck like ever.
dragons.
Right, the heroes.
It is a fan favorite. I don't know if it's the most popular deck ever, but
Like,
it is
casually,
it is one of the most
competitively.
favorite decks.
Because it was like super competitive, and it's pretty. It seems like it's pretty consistent
Yeah,
as
yeah.
as a casual deck.
Right. There's a like
Dark Wall's pretty broken, dude.
Ever since Heroes came out, there's a deck for there's a hero deck for every format.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something for everybody. Like no matter what, like no other games really offer that.
Okay, for sure.
And there's also like legacy formats.
Oh, that's pretty new though, right?
It is pretty new, but that is what could make it worth it. Like like Edison is the most popular like Yu-Gi-Oh format.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. It's good. People say it's good because you're not winning. The games aren't determined within like 3 turns, or but you can still have some cool combos.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also good for newer players because it's easier to understand. You still have good card economy. It could teach you card economy. It could teach you about combos, certain lines. It can be a good format in general. Me personally, I find Edison boring. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me. That might be a hot take, but I find it incredibly boring.
Okay. Wait, but why though?
Well, as I've played Edison, it just takes. It seems like it takes a while.
Wait, like specifically Edison
Yeah,
or
specifically
all
Edison.
legacy formats?
No, specifically Edison.
Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, what's that format like? I still don't understand what
I mean,
it
I
is.
can't really explain it to you because
What cards are involved, generally?
well, Black Wings are considered the best deck. Like Black Wings, X Sabers, Light Sworns, maybe Dragons, maybe.
All the most annoying decks ever.
Yeah, but
no
these
wonder
are-
you hate it.
But it's not even that. It just seems like there's. I don't know. It seems very. I don't want to say slow because I like GOAT format,
Right.
but it's not like I'm. I don't know. It seems like there's nothing I can do in this format that just seems. I don't know, game breaking.
Like clever.
Like yeah, clever or game breaking or things like that. Like you can pull off some. Don't get me wrong, you can pull off some neat combos.
Right, like
But
Lex
it-
Sworns and Black Wings are pretty heavy. Not heavy combo decks, but like you
Well, no, not even. I mean,
can pull off some pretty good combos.
yeah, but even those decks can feel pretty like slow.
Sure.
And that I think that's one of the things I have a problem with it too. It seems like if I do want to pull off something cool, it takes a few turns to do it. I'm not saying I like spewing out doing stuff like Manadium combos.
Right, you like winning like 2 turns, right?
No, it's not even that. It's just like
I mean, if you do, I mean, I'm not hating, bro.
it's not even that. It's not even that. It just feels like it feels like I'm not doing anything for like the first few turns. Like maybe I'm playing the wrong decks. Maybe I haven't found a deck I liked. But it just feels like it takes too long for me to do something cool. Like I think one time I played this like
You're the problem because you just talked about power creep.
No, because I do think I like things like GOAT format. I like GOAT format. I like Duelist Alliance format. I like Hat format. I like all these other formats. But I don't know. I haven't connected with Edison format like I've connected with other legacy formats.
That's fair.
And I'll never. Me personally, it's just me. Like I won't understand like the mass appeal. I appreciate the different gameplay. I appreciate the slower Yu-Gi-Oh. Mm-hmm. But I can like I can't like. If someone tells me like, oh, what format you want to play, my first choice isn't going to be Edison.
Right. Yeah. I mean, everyone has their likes and dislikes. I think that's fine.
Right. But any legacy format. Anybody, you can make a deck on any your favorite format and play it. Why not?
Okay.
It's a break from standard Yu-Gi-Oh, and I don't understand why they don't have more formats dedicated or more gameplay dedicated to legacy formats.
So what do you think it's like the number one thing? What's the most important thing to consider if you want to start Yu-Gi-Oh or keep playing Yu-Gi-Oh? What should, if you were to say, hey man, if I were to come up to you like, bro, I'm like burned out, I don't know if I want to keep playing the game, there's power creep, there's this, there's that, like what?
And they just started.
Whether they just started or they've been playing for a while.
Oh, okay.
What makes Yu-Gi-Oh worth it?
I mean, I think
to answer the thumbnail.
Well, first of all, I do think Yu-Gi-Oh is worth playing. Obviously, I mean, again, it all depends on your personal.
I'm not making any money.
I mean, so what? Go get a job.
No.
Like,
you want to make money? Go to work.
yeah, dude. Like, don't expect unless you want to be a vendor, don't expect just to make money. I remember this one dude. I mean, he's a very cool dude, but he said this is during Zoo format. He thought the Zoo cards were gonna get hit on the ban list, so he sold all his Zoo cards. And me personally, even if I know Pepe, I played Pepe, and that when that deck got hit twice, I had to take out half my cards twice. But I would have never thought oh, this deck is about to get hit, so I'm gonna just I'm gonna play a few turns with it and sell it. No, I'm not doing that. These are my cards. I got them for a reason because I like them.
Right.
Why would you do that? If you don't be a finance bro trying to invest in cards and play the game and then sell the cards. That's not being genuine to the game. I might sound a little bit corny.
Right.
But,
you can't really be super competitive and then a super trader.
Exactly.
Right.
You're gonna need if you especially want to be super competitive, you're gonna need to buy 2 or 3 decks.
Right. You're gonna need to buy a lot of decks. You can still play competitively, but not at I would say an optimal level.
Right, exactly.
Right. I don't think you could do do both. But overall, what you'd say?
I would say
camaraderie.
Yeah, friendship is definitely the most important thing because, you can't play by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There are, like I said, there are communities the Discord where people do have remote duels and talk about the game. But if you don't have at least one physical in-person friend to play with, then it doesn't really make it worth it.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
I can play, I can be friends with, let's say, Farfa, for example, right? But, I'm not going to be playing... No, I can't play all the time. We can't talk all the time. No matter... You need somebody there with you to hang out with.
Right. Yeah, I think... I mean, it's not only just, hanging out with them. It's, the different... It's also, the other parts of your life, you value them. Because it's a good way to meet people.
Exactly.
You never know what field they might be in. You never know if you'll need help from them one day.
Right.
Even if you guys eventually do stop the game, grown adults. Anyway, but in all seriousness, you could literally make forever friends.
Yeah,
right?
any interest.
You guys can start a business together. You never know.
With any interest, it's just a gate. At least in terms of friendship, it's like a gateway.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
But don't worry about power creep. Complain about it with your friends. Don't worry about how much a card is. Complain about it with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Having friends, having a community is the most important thing for any game, for anything.
Whew. That was a lot. That was a lot.
Yeah, like a lot.
I mean, how'd you feel? How'd you feel about this episode?
I think it was a pretty good first episode. You know, it's important to think about. You know, like it's important to think about like your own desires and see if you're getting any fulfillment out of it.
Right. I think that's the most important thing. I mean, I guess we just talked about camaraderie, but fulfillment too. Like, you know, a lot of us don't play sports, so
Yeah, right. Yeah. Exactly.
so Yu-Gi-Oh is and some of us have that competitive edge, but can't go tackle anybody. So
I mean, it's just like it's just like anything.
except me though. Except me.
It's just like anything. Like that competitive spirit. I think it's all the same competitive spirit. We just have different ways of expressing it.
Right.
You know, sometimes we don't feel. You know, I can have a competitive spirit. You know, we can join, like a team for like basketball. Some people have like their own like little leagues that they play in. You know, we can join that, but it's like, you know, I might not feel fulfilled. You know.
Right. I mean, it's a hobby at the end of the day.
Right. These are all hobbies.
It's your hobby at the end of the day. So.
You know,
I think it's slightly higher than model trades. So, anyway,
if it makes you feel good, then keep doing it.
Right. I agree. Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in to our first episode. We're gonna try to do this, you know, at least 3 times a week. So I mean, we'll see where it goes from there. All right, guys. Well, hope you enjoyed it, and we appreciate you. See ya.
Deuce.